Hey everyone, welcome to a new episode of Games I Speak. I'm Gio,
And I'm Josie.
and today we're finally here in person.
I know, right? It's only been a year or so.
Yeah, it's only been a year. A lot of people have been doing the remote thing, but we're ready.
Yes.
We're ready. So let's jump into our first story.
Cool.
All right. So this past week was huge with E3. And I found this on IGN. Basically, it's a poll where they asked a bunch of their followers who won the showcase.
Yes.
And as you can see here, we have overwhelming support for Xbox / Bethesda.
Mm-hmm.
Nintendo comes in second. And then let me pull this up.
It's interesting because it's not even a close second.
Yeah, it's not. Ubisoft has 4.1%, and then something else has 5.7. But they don't even have PlayStation on here.
Oh, PlayStation was 93.
Oh, okay, that's right. Yeah, well, I couldn't watch it because I was traveling at the time.
Yes.
So I missed most of it, but. Okay, so yeah, it looks like we have a clear winner.
Yes.
Even though Nintendo did have some serious reveals.
So, in terms of Nintendo, I wouldn't say it was serious. I'd say they were more welcome, but
Yeah.
compared to Nintendo E3 past, it wasn't like a banger.
Yeah.
It was consistent, and they had some really cool, like, this game is coming to the Nintendo Switch. That was like, Fatal Frame, Maiden of Blackwater, or Advance Wars 1 and 2 Reboot Camp,
Yes,
which
that's
is
going to be huge.
which is a great title.
It is.
But in terms of like bringing the new and bringing some expected titles, like a good one that I felt was really missing was Bayonetta 3. It's been a few years since it was unveiled, and
Yeah.
we've seen nothing.
Yeah.
And for the Square Enix showcase, we got to see Babylon's Fall. So it's like, what are you doing, Platinum Games?
Yeah. Which is so I've been trying to keep up with like what's the controversy around Babylon's Fall.
Oh, okay.
And from what I gathered, you can tell me if I'm right or not.
Okay.
The problem is that there's Platinum Games is so good at first-person action games that people
You mean
are
third person.
third person, yeah. Or I mean, sorry, I meant first
Single player?
single player
Yeah.
action games that
It's the morning, y'all.
that people that people are like, why are you doing a game as a service? That's not your forte. But I don't know, man. I get why people are upset, but it's like, can't a studio try something new? You know what I mean? Like,
so games as a service overall, like I think it's being just treated, just the term in a bad light.
yes, yeah.
There can be good games as a service.
Final Fantasy
games.
Online,
Exactly.
World of Warcraft.
Yeah, even though we give them the term MMO, they are games as a service.
Yes.
So in that regard, this isn't their first foray into an online centric multiplayer game.
Mhm.
Anarchy Reigns is one of them. And that was mostly just a fighting game with barely any story. Babylon's Fall will at least let you play it single player, and you can see the story.
Yes. Yeah.
So that's awesome in and of itself.
yeah.
I don't know what's waiting in terms of the story because they really haven't unveiled anything.
Yeah.
So they haven't really like gotten my attention in that regard. I think a lot of the negative attention is really into the art.
Oh,
And
people didn't like how it
the
looked.
design of the game. Yeah, it looks very dated and muted, which is a far cry, no pun intended,
from their games.
from the stylings of their games
Yeah.
and how vibrant and punchy they look. Like recently we had Wonderful 101 come out to the Switch.
Yeah.
And then Bayonetta is its own thing.
Vanquish.
Near, granted, was post-apocalyptic, but the art design was incredible. Like the people in Babylon's Fall, they just don't look interesting
Yeah.
in any way, shape, or
Yeah.
form. Like I don't think anyone saw that and was like, yes, I want to play as those characters.
Yeah.
Now the gameplay though looked pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna be honest. So I am interested in the gameplay, but yes, in terms of the look and feel, it just didn't look like a Platinum game.
Yeah.
And that's, I guess that's a little subjective too, so I don't know how to say that.
Yeah.
But it's unfortunate that it was so negative.
Yes. Yeah. I think you touched on a lot of points. When I saw it, it didn't look like I didn't know it was a Platinum game until I was reading about it, and I was like, didn't look like a Platinum game.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's definitely issues with the presentation and the
Overall design.
The overall design. So,
But Xbox Infinite came out, and that looks like it took a step up.
yeah, so
It's looking better.
So okay, yeah. So let's talk about why
Microsoft won?
Microsoft won. So the Xbox Infinite trailer was excellent.
Yes. And the multiplayer, and the fact that multiplayer is free.
Yes.
That is super cool.
That is super cool because for those of you who are Halo fans, we're Halo fans. We play the story, and then it's all multiplayer from there.
Yeah,
You beat the story, and then it's all multiplayer. All multiplayer. So the fact that I don't own an Xbox right now, a Series X or a Series S, even an Xbox One, I don't own that.
But there is Game Pass, and you have a PC.
Yes.
And Game Pass is on PC.
Which means I can play Halo Infinite online. So I like that. I like that they're doing that.
It's super cool.
Yeah.
Yes. No. They're definitely they're punching it up in terms of their service and making it accessible to people that don't even own their consoles.
Yeah.
So that's incredibly important, and the name of Xbox is becoming stronger. And you can see that just from these reactions alone. The fact that they kind of won E3, even though this E3 was a little lackluster in general.
Yes, there was Konami pulled out, like you said.
Yes.
Sony wasn't there.
Yes, and then the Bandai Namco presentation only focused on House of Ashes, and I was like, you've got so many other games that are coming out that I'm excited for, like Tales of Arise and Scarlet Nexus, which is coming out very shortly.
Yeah, why didn't they? That's strange.
I don't know. And then Square Enix's presentation, unfortunately, was lackluster, but only because I didn't really have a lot of expectations coming into this E3. I kind of figured, because of Rona and what's been going on, like there wouldn't be a lot. And I was telling John in front of the podcast that in terms of E3, is it that important anymore when publishers and developers have the ability to contact or to do touch points of game development whenever they want? It's not just solely focused on E3, this moment in time. They can do it throughout the year, and Nintendo proves that with their Nintendo Directs. So is E3 as special or essential?
Yeah, Sony has State of Play, and Xbox has
Xbox Experience.
Xbox Experience, yeah. So, yeah, I mean, the industry has definitely shifted this past year. They can let consumers know what they're doing directly.
Yes.
They have it all set up. They have their own format. But that being said, I missed E3 because I was traveling, like I said, but I watched a lot of the trailers, and some of them were really good. And those are going to be the ones we're covering today.
What were you most hyped for?
Out of all the trailers I saw, the one that I guess intrigued me the most, I guess, would be, I guess it's Halo Infinite, man, to be honest.
Okay.
Starfield was cool, but it didn't.
It was such a teaser.
It was a teaser.
It looked phenomenal.
Yeah. Dude.
It looked phenomenal.
And we're going to talk about that later in the show, Starfield. But,
Microsoft's E3 presentation, I think one of the reasons why it won, at the very least over Nintendo, was because they showed new games more than ports.
Yes.
Which I feel like Nintendo had a lot of fan favorite ports. Like there's a lot of games that I either haven't gotten to or would prefer to play on the Switch that are coming to the Switch. But in terms of that E3 presentation for Microsoft, it was very all killer, no filler. just an hour or so of games, and they didn't have like a lot of like, oh, here's the developer of this game, and they're going to talk ad nauseum about,
Yes,
blah, 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 which is fine. But when it comes to like those kinds of presentations, I think there are expectations and like, look, we want to know about this game, we want to see it, but we don't need like that in-depth presentation for each game, especially if it's a game that we don't really care for.
Yeah. No, I agree with you.
So that's why I think Microsoft won, and in my opinion, I do agree that they won E3, but this E3 overall was kind
The
of
competition
a
wasn't
disappointment.
stiff.
Yeah, exactly. But Microsoft is gaining ground.
Yeah.
And so I applaud them for that because they're bringing in the games and the exclusives, which has been an issue ever since the last generation.
It has.
Since Xbox 360.
It has. So yeah, and we'll talk about more about that later on as well. All right. So next up, we have Stranger of Paradise, Final Fantasy Origin. So this is an article from IGN, and it's basically saying it is not a direct sequel to Final Fantasy 1. And they basically got a translation from the game director. Let's see. Oh, actually, it was from
The creative producer,
yeah,
Tetsuya
Tetsuya
Nomura, who
Nomura.
also did the character designs.
Yeah. So let's
mean,
let's see what he says real quick.
Yeah.
Stranger of Paradise is not a direct continuation of Final Fantasy 1's story, but a new story inspired by it, Nomura says. The trial version consists of a part in the beginning of the game in which you enter the Chaos Shrine, which is the same as in Final Fantasy 1. All right. The game was inspired by Final Fantasy 1. The setting is based on Final Fantasy 1 as well. Where did the Warriors of Light come from and who are they? This is something you will find out in the ending of Final Fantasy 1, Nomura explains. Jack and his friends are strangers in the same way. Who are Jack and his friends? Are they the Warriors of Light? These function as the main themes of the story. So in the story, they are depicted as the strangers. Stranger of Paradise director Daisuke Inoue added that while the title can be interpreted literally to mean Jack and his friends as strangers in the new land, Inoue says that it can also be interpreted as those that do not belong in paradise. So, yeah, that's kind of a interesting breakdown there.
Yes.
So yeah, we played the trial.
Yes.
And yeah, let me know what were your thoughts on it.
Well, initially, before we even get to the trial, initially when I saw the trailer, I was like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah. Yeah.
I was like, "What are you doing?"
Good point.
This looks nothing like Final Fantasy.
Good point.
Granted, they're using enemies that are familiar to Final Fantasy, like the bomb.
Yeah.
And they have Garland in there, who Garland is the most Final Fantasy looking thing in the trailer.
Mm-hmm.
But in terms of like really, again, look and feel, tone, design, it looks completely like its own thing.
Yeah.
Like its own thing. Which is not to say that it's bad, but when it's something that is tacked on or connected to the world of Final Fantasy with Final Fantasy 1, and Final Fantasy 1's a vibrant game.
Yeah.
It's just the lack of color and the fact that this dude comes in with like some pants and a shirt.
Yes.
and some boots.
He has a T-shirt.
Yeah, exactly. And he looks like he came out of H&M.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm ready to fight.
Yeah.
So, and like that world of Final Fantasy, at the very least in Final Fantasy 1, is definitely like medieval fantasy.
Yeah.
And it just, nothing about that harkened
Yeah.
to medieval fantasy type. And then the uninspired names and the character designs. The character designs are whack, for lack of a better word.
But as you play the demo, you start unlocking a lot of armor.
Yes.
And then you see what they're going for. They're going for a fully customizable look for your character,
Yeah.
even though some of the pieces were generic in the demo.
Yes.
But you yourself said, I asked you if you thought the demo had reused assets from Final Fantasy Online, and you said no, but it looks like they reused assets from Neo.
Oh yes,
Yeah,
definitely.
yeah.
I mean, we had this conversation a couple of episodes ago about like how I felt about the idea of a Final Fantasy cross Dark Souls / Neo game, and I, erroneously brought up some concern about the gameplay. And the Neo developers, Team Ninja, killed it.
Yeah.
It is fast. It is fun.
Yeah.
And
flexible.
and versatile. Yes, incredibly
Very flexible.
And
You can switch jobs in the middle of a combo.
yes,
In the middle of a combo. That's insane.
and not just that, but you're switching jobs, but also you can map different abilities as you see fit to a combo string.
Yeah.
And they have, I believe, 3 to 4 different combo strings that you can choose, like R1 and then press R2, and then R1, R1, R2, R1, 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 R2.
Yeah.
And you can map different abilities to each one, which would change up your combo.
Yeah.
And so you don't lose the muscle memory when you're doing those kinds of moves. If
Yes.
anything, it's just the visual, and it's just it's brilliant.
Yeah. And also you have the what was it called? The Soul Shield.
Yes, the Soul Shield.
That is a huge part of the game.
Yes.
Believe it or not, because
And the brake system.
Yeah.
The brake system replaces the stamina system of Neo.
yeah.
But go on.
Yeah, so when you're in the middle of the combat, sometimes you're facing enemies like that kind of mini boss guy early on, and you can hit him, but if you're not staggering him, he can just whack you in the middle of your combo.
Yes.
There's no, like, if you don't stun the enemy.
There's no iframes.
Yeah, yeah. So
Right? I haven't seen.
I didn't see any.
Yeah, you can dodge. You can use Soul Shield, but I don't think there's iframes. Because literally, I'll be in combos, and there's so many people around me. They're like whacking me. And
Yes.
I'm like, I'm doing moves. Leave me alone.
Yeah, and that's where the Soul Shield comes into play.
Yeah.
Because you have to be able to, and it's kind of like Mortal Shell.
I have yet to play it.
Okay, yeah.
I bought it for you.
Yes, I
haven't
played the
played it.
demo, but I haven't played the game yet. But Mortal Shell essentially has this one-off move where you become hardened, and you can block any enemy attack. But
Any direction?
your whole shell becomes hardened. But
Mortal Shell.
you can only use it once per cooldown or whatever.
Mm.
So you have to pick it and time it perfect. Same thing with the Soul Shield, even though it's a little bit more flexible.
Yes.
Because you can use it more often.
Yes.
But it's the same
You
concept.
can kind of spam it.
Yeah, you can kind of spam. But if you spam it at the wrong time, you get punished.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's kind of the same concept. Like, it's very powerful. But you need it. But you need to time it properly.
And an added level to this, because that's one of the things that I found fascinating about the demo, was the level of flexibility and the awesome abilities that you have at your disposal. Is if you do Soul Shield on a specific enemy move, for instance, the bomb doing a fire attack, you can gain fire as an ability and then use that on someone
by pressing square.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is awesome.
And if they throw a rock, it's essentially it's like you're catching.
You're collecting. Yeah.
Yeah, you're capturing what they're doing and you're throwing it back.
Like frick, was it Ness? How he pockets things?
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, the gameplay, like, if you saw the demo or the trailer and you were like us, you were a little bit skeptical.
Yes.
Don't be about the trailer or the trial, the demo. Go play it.
Yeah.
Because, man,
especially if you're a fan of Neo
yeah.
or like Dark Souls type, because
Yeah.
the gameplay has a speed to it
Yes.
that is unlike Dark Souls, and I would say it's a more akin to Neo, but I'd say it's even faster. And the only reason because there's no stamina gauge, you can move ad nauseum.
Mhm.
You can just keep going, and I think they took that into account. So they've upped the amount of enemies that are attacking you at any given moment.
There's a lot of enemies in
So
the
there's a
counters.
lot of strategy in terms of dodging correctly, using Soul Shield when possible, and then keeping your positioning. in place so that you can go ahead and counteract however you see fit.
Yeah.
So it's very cool. I dig that. But the only thing, again, art direction.
Yeah, yeah.
Like change that. Look, when I saw Jack for the first time, I was like, I gave it a pass.
Yeah,
and I gave it
yeah.
a pass only because I was like, I think this is a character creation type character.
Yes.
Where you just go ahead and you put whatever things together to make your character.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said,
He looks rough.
You can change all his armor and stuff, but the game needs to be polished.
Yes.
Yeah, it needs to be polished. So.
And the thing is, if you have a PlayStation 5, you download the demo and you play it, you can go ahead and it has difficulty modes.
Yeah, they actually have easy, normal, and hard.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, you tried hard, and it's hard, right?
It's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard. Yeah. I was up until like 3 a.m. fighting Garland. Like I already knew his moveset.
Yeah.
I could like dodge him however I saw fit. But once he gets you, like it's like a practically a one-hit kill kind of combo that he gets into.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, it's so frustrating because you gotta dance around and be perfect.
Yeah.
But what was I going to say? Oh, yes. So after the demo, you can go ahead and do a survey. They have a survey for the demo, and you don't even have to complete it, the demo, that is. But you can go ahead and give them your feedback. So one of the feedback that I gave was literally like, hey, I'm feeling this gameplay, but,
Got to make it look better.
make it look better. Make it look more like Final Fantasy, please. Because they also had a hand in making Dissidia NT, and Dissidia NT looked awesome. It was a fantastic Final Fantasy game, a looking game. So bring some of that in there. I would love that.
Okay. Yeah, so I mean, if you're lucky enough to have a PS5, try it out.
Yes.
It's a good demo. All right, next up. I think this might be wrong. Oh, here we go. I forgot to name it. Breath of the Wild 2's best fan theory so far. So one of the biggest trailers that Nintendo released was the Breath of the Wild 2.
That's on the end of the show.
Yeah, gameplay.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks just like Breath of the Wild 1, except there's a bunch of things in there that people are unsure of. They're unsure of who you're playing. They're unsure of some of the mechanics. Like, you seem to be able to, like, fuse through solid materials and stuff like that. So
yes, there's like a water jutsu move.
Yeah, yeah. So let's look at some of these theories. All right, first theory. Do we play as Ganon in Breath of the Wild 2? So, so the thing is that you're not going to play as Link, right? Because it's before, right?
I'm sorry, pardon?
So
you're definitely playing as Link.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, no, you're definitely playing as Link. I mean, if you looked at the picture right there above, right there, yeah. In the teaser trailer that they showed initially, I believe about 2 years back,
Yeah.
they showed this part happening there was like corruption coming out of Ganon's. It looked like tomb.
Uh-huh.
And then they showed this most recently, and Link's arm is being corrupted.
Okay.
It's being consumed by the corruption. And the character that we see, because they don't really show the face, so maybe that's where this is coming from. The character that we see in the gameplay is using that corrupted arm to do, kind of like Sheikah Slate type moves.
Yeah. Okay. Because I thought when I saw the character, I thought it was Link. Because he has the same color hair and the same body.
Yes. I'm pretty sure it's Link.
Yeah, I think it's Link, but they're saying, I guess you're saying is it a version of Link that's corrupted by Ganon?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So the second one, can we play as Zelda in Breath of the Wild 2? So in the first Breath of the Wild, you cannot play as Zelda. She's just kind of like part of the story arc, and she's like guiding you.
She's protecting the castle, Hyrule Castle, and containing Ganon.
Yes.
That's one of the things that is the reason for her absence, by and large, in the game. In the trailer, they show her falling into an abyss.
Okay.
So I don't know how she will factor into it, or how they even thought of.
If you could play her.
Maybe this is a request. Yeah, I mean, I don't see why not.
Yeah.
To be honest, I wish they made a side game to Ocarina of Time where you get to play as Sheik.
Yeah, that would be actually pretty cool.
Like I want Ninja Zelda, please.
Okay. Do we return to Skyloft? So the opening cinematic of Link from the trailer is pretty much the same exact scene of Link falling through the clouds in Skyward Sword.
Yep.
What's more, the trailer shows floating islands just like in Skyward Sword.
Mm-hmm.
The description under the official Nintendo YouTube account literally says return to Hyrule and the skies above, which is a pretty clear connection to floating island of Skyloft.
Interesting.
So yeah, there might be there might be some overlap between this and
Well, Skyward Sword
Skyward
is
Sword.
supposed to be the origin of the Legend of Zelda, so yeah, I wouldn't see why not reference it in some way, shape, or form. And by the original Zelda, the origin of the Legend of Zelda, the games. That being said, I really did enjoy the way the Sky Islands looked. It was very much akin to Xenoblade Chronicles 2.
Yeah. Okay.
Because Monolith Soft is assisting in the development of the game, just like they did with Breath of the Wild 1.
Okay. Yeah, you couldn't pick better studio.
No, especially since they have a fantastic track record of making huge worlds.
Yeah.
That for some reason, like it's awe-inspiring to see them work on the systems that they work on.
Yeah, yeah.
A good example is the original Xenoblade Chronicles on the Wii.
Yeah.
You're like, how'd they do this?
Yeah. Okay. Next one. Is Breath of the Wild 2 connected to The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess? So people have also pointed out visual connections between The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess and the new trailer. For starters, there is a shared color scheme between the portals in Twilight Princess and the shots with Link's arm in the trailer. Also, people have pointed out that the design of Midna, who accompanies Link in Twilight Princess, looks similar to that of the new stone monster we see in the trailer. So let's take a look at this.
Hey, what?
All right. So this is a portal, I guess, from Twilight Princess.
Yes.
And here's Link's arm. But you know what?
Yeah, but this is the same kind of designs that were
in Breath of the Wild 1.
Yeah,
which was
exactly.
the ancient machine design.
Yes.
Yeah. And then here we have another portal. And then, yeah, I don't know. I think this is kind of a far-fetched.
Well, it's because of colors.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay.
Those colors were already in the first Breath of the Wild.
I wish I had my Hyrule Historia with me because Hyrule Historia maps out, or at the very least has mapped out, the sequence of timelines because there's like 3 separate timelines in the Legend of Zelda chronology.
Yeah.
And how all the games connect with each other.
Okay.
I'm wondering if this does fit into the same timeline that Twilight Princess fits in. I actually don't have that in front of me, so I don't know. But
okay.
Maybe someone out there will figure that out.
Yeah, if you know, leave a comment in the video. All right. Does Link time travel in the Breath of the Wild sequel? All right. In the trailer, Link appears to use some sort of time travel power to push a spiked ball back up a hill, which we know is in Breath of the Wild.
Well, it's not. That's not in Breath of the Wild. Breath of the Wild 1, it's like you stop something. It's stasis. You stop it. In
I thought
time
it looked the same exact in the
because it has the same coloring. But the thing is that he didn't touch it.
Oh,
so
okay.
that's what it was so different about
Okay.
it. He was able to put it in stasis and then reverse the momentum of the spike ball to whatever its origin.
Okay.
So like whenever you put it in stasis in Breath of the Wild 1, you were capable of
You had to hit it.
Exactly.
Which would build momentum.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay, so this one's different.
Yes.
He can reverse its movement through time. Okay.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
So, all right. In addition to that, connections between Link's new design and the hero depicted in the tapestry about the calamity from 10,000 years before Breath of the Wild have led some people to think that there could be some sort of time traveling happen. So, obviously it's totally possible. Time traveling is a huge theme in video games. I mean, it's like that's pretty much par for the course. So yeah, I don't think that's far fetched at all. Okay. Okay. This says a possible Easter egg. Like everything else on the list, this tidbit has not been confirmed as either intentional or meaningful. However, one fan believes the music in the last trailer is a backwards version of the song played during the original Breath of the Wild cutscene about the tapestry depicting the prophecy.
Whoa.
That sounds insane.
Yes, it does.
All right, let's see. This is from Taco. If you play a certain part of the new Zelda Breath of the Wild 2 trailer backwards, it sounds like the music that plays during the ancient prophecy in the first Breath of the Wild. I also noticed both sounded similar to the reversed Breath of the Wild 2 reveal trailer, which still hasn't been solved yet.
That just reminds me of like the 70s. I forget, was it in the 70s or the 80s? Where like if you play it in reverse, it has satanic messages.
That was a big thing, though. What was that one?
Chicago?
No. Hotel California.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, there's a lot of obviously people are excited. They want this game. So
yeah, no, I feel like I'm intrigued, but I feel like after 2 years, I wish they gave me a little bit more in terms of maybe explaining the gameplay systems and what's going on with the story.
Yeah.
It was a teaser, and it was a good one. But I wish, again, it's just a little bit more.
Yeah.
Especially in terms of the durability systems, because I was not a huge fan of that in the original.
So that's one of the hot topics also with this game is, are they going to keep the durability system in? And look, it did incentivize me to go get the Master Sword as soon as I could, because I hated just all my weapons breaking constantly. Now the game does
that wasn't the point.
I know.
The point was to incentivize creative play.
I know, but it incentivized. I was like, man, I gotta get this damn.
I gotta get this damn sword that's gonna stay with me forever.
Yes, yeah, and but you had to get 13 hearts, so it took a while to get it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just I didn't like it, man. I didn't because you know what? A lot of RPGs, it's all about building out your character to your specs.
Yes.
And you can't really do that in Breath of the
Wild.
Wild.
When everything's breaking.
Everything's
breaking around you. You pick it up and it breaks. You're like,
you can't do it in a weapon standpoint until you get the Master Sword. Yeah.
And even then, the Master Sword was nerfed beyond ability. Like, I didn't purchase the DLC, and it was just so nerfed. I was just like, this isn't a Master Sword.
Yeah.
This is just a sword that doesn't break.
Yeah, well, it doesn't break, but it can deactivate for a certain amount of time.
Which is lame.
Yeah, which is kind of like a temporarily broken status.
Yes.
And also, the thing that confused me so much was after you would tame a beast.
Okay. Oh, man.
They would give you this item, and they'd be like, this item is so great. It's so awesome. Oh, by the way, it breaks, and you have to come make a new one when it's done. I'm like, what the hell? Why even give us these legendary items when they break?
I forget what beast I tamed. First of all, I wish you could stable bears.
Yeah.
That's a huge thing. Because I just want to be roaming around on a bear. But there's this one beast. It's a mythical beast, like this, the king of the mountain or the lord of the mountain. Or
I remember him.
Yeah.
He's very hard.
Yeah. I tamed it.
Oh, okay.
And I couldn't stable it. I'm like, I tamed this thing. It is mine.
Yeah.
Or at the very least, if you can't tame it, at the very least, like do something kind of like Elden Ring, where you just kind of can summon it.
Yeah, because it was kind of weird. Like
they did that in Ocarina of Time, where you just whistle for Epona.
Yeah.
Come on. But go on. You were saying?
Yeah. No, there's definitely improvements that can be made on on Breath of the Wild. So.
Mm-hmm.
But what's funny is, you know that scene where they're saying looks like Skyward Sword?
Yes.
Where he's falling in?
Yes.
You know Genshin Impact?
Oh. I mean, I haven't played it, but I know about it.
Yeah, I played it for like not long, just like 20 hours.
2 months.
And then I realized like just now that's the entrance to
really?
Genshin Impact.
But that's the entrance to PUBG as well.
Yeah, true.
Or is it Fortnite?
No, PUBG.
Okay.
Yeah. No, it's all of them. PUBG, Fortnite, Call of Duty, Warzone, they all have it.
Yeah.
But
Oh snap! You just did it.
what?
You just unlocked the code. Breath of the Wild 2 is a battle royale game. We found out. We know what it is. That's a big secret.
But now I'm thinking like, did Genshin Impact steal that intro from Skyward Sword? You know what I mean? Because
I mean, there is a lot of stuff that Genshin Impact.
Oh,
it was inspired by.
Yeah,
from Breath of the
Genshin
Wild.
Impact is a Breath of the Wild clone.
Yeah.
Just so you know. It's a cool game. A lot of people love it, but it's very grindy because it's free to play.
Yeah.
It's a game as a service.
Game as a service.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. So the period on the sentence, 2022.
Yeah.
The fact that Breath of the Wild 2 just has a nebulous release date. It's like we're aiming for 2022. It might not be 2022, but that's what we're aiming for. And here's the thing. As gorgeous as it looks, I just don't see that thing running well on the Nintendo Switch as the Nintendo Switch is right now.
Yeah.
Who knows? It could. But even Xenoblade Chronicles 2 has issues playing on the Switch, at the very least, on portable mode.
Yeah.
Docked, it runs better, but it does have its own issues.
Yeah.
So
a lot of people were
Switch
wondering.
Pro.
Yeah, a lot of people were wondering if Nintendo was going to announce. But here's the thing. I think they're being smart. I think they're waiting for the holiday season.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
I think they're going to wait for like Thanksgiving time frame, and then they're going to be like the new Nintendo Switch, and then everyone's going to try to buy one. Everyone's going to try to buy one. So we'll see.
It's either that or a Virtual Boy 2. You heard it here first, y'all.
Yeah, you heard it here first. All right. Halo Infinite reveals multiplayer map titles and descriptions. So we have some more concrete data here where they kind of are showing off the maps and telling us the name. Now, you know, as a Halo player, maps...
I only need Blood Gulch.
I know. But you know, as a Halo player, maps are crucial to the game.
Everything.
They're
man.
everything in the game.
Oh my god.
Map strategy, how you move on the map, how you get the items on the map.
Yes.
Everything is for multiplayer. Maps are everything in
Items
Halo.
and vehicles.
Yeah. I contend that weapons and vehicles come second to the map knowledge.
Oh no, I was just putting it on there.
Oh yeah.
But I agree with you. Yes.
Yeah. Maps are huge. And if you have ever watched a pro Halo player like Ninja, I used to watch him way back before he became the Fortnite kid.
Gotcha.
Before he only had like...
Before his name was Ninja.
No, he was...
I'm kidding.
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
Before he was famous. He would only have like a couple hundred or like 800 people watching
Are you getting all snobby here? Like before he was mainstream.
Well, no. A lot of people don't know he was a Halo pro. And he was good. Like really good. And I used to watch him. His map knowledge was insane. Like it made no sense. Like he did things on the map I didn't know were possible.
That's
and
awesome.
That's what made him win. Was all map knowledge. So yeah, let's take a look at these maps. Behemoth. Behemoth is a desert landscape that's apparently very, very old and has some secrets waiting to be uncovered. It has survived for 100 millennia, but the ring still holds fast to secrets yet unknown. So, yeah, it looks like a big open desert map, which there was several of those in past Halos.
Yes.
Man, I'm trying to think of the name. What was the one where like it was like a big desert map, and they would have like these big structures in the center, and everyone was driving vehicles around?
Oof.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yes, I know,
Yeah.
but I'm forgetting the name.
And then there was another one in Halo 4, I believe. That was a big desert. But yeah, you know which one I'm talking about.
I haven't even beaten Halo 4. Like honestly, this does make me the unveiling of Infinite and how it's improved its visuals does make me want to play Halo 4 and 5, but I just haven't gotten back. Like
Yeah.
I played Halo 4 for a good while, but I feel like its progression was not as well polished as previous Halos.
Yeah, and it was very stale because of
Yes.
the story.
Mm-hmm.
You're fighting these like geometric beings, and it's just not as good as when you fight
I
like
forget what they're called, the Collective or something. I
yeah, it's
forget.
not as it's not as good as when you fight the Covenant or the
Yeah.
Horde. It's
Yes.
just not the same. So
Well, the Horde's just zombies. They're
Yeah.
horrific.
yeah, they were awesome.
Yeah.
All right, next up, fragmentation. Fragmentation looks like a place you'd want to take a vacation after a year of lockdowns if it weren't for the advanced menacing aircraft, gunfire, and explosion. Now more than ever, installation 07's serene surface belies a deeper strain and conflict. So this kind of looks more like, I'm trying to think, what was that? Maybe you know what? This looks like that sniper area in Blood Gulch, where you would go up the side of the
Blood Gulch didn't have a lot of trees though. That was more desert.
Yeah, that was more desert. No, not Blood Gulch. What was the one where you could teleport behind each other's bases
Yeah.
and there was a river in the center?
Yes.
What was that?
one called?
Oh, my God.
Tell us in the comments.
Yeah, tell us in the comments.
You know what we're talking about. That's Halo 2.
Yeah, that's Halo 2. This looks like similar to that
Yeah,
map.
I
It
can
was
see
like
that.
mountains and some trees.
Yeah.
All right, recharge. This new indoor map was used to sustain civilization's power needs by helping maintain stable energy grids, but now it's overrun by bloodthirsty Spartans who like shooting extremely expensive structures just to see the destruction physics. Here's the description from 343. Resource infrastructure facilities such as those run by Axis Hydroelectric Division help maintain stable energy grids for colony worlds. So they're saying that this might have destructible environments.
Cool.
So that's something we really haven't seen much
No.
in the Halo franchise. You can destroy vehicles, but you couldn't really destroy
The environment around you. I mean,
So-
they would have like explosive canisters
Yes, yeah,
around, but aside from that,
yeah. There wasn't.
I can't think of like, ooh, I need to break this wall in order to get through here. Blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And then that would change the strategy of how you would approach a situation.
exactly. So yeah, that would be interesting to see. That would definitely be an evolution in Halo gameplay. This one, live fire, the site of a training facility for young Spartans looking to defend their own against enemies. Live fire is now a playground for Spartans to test out their skills on other players. Instructors at the Avery J. Johnson Academy of Military Science ensure their Spartans are prepared for any challenge that a hostile galaxy throws at them. Reads live fire description. So this looks like another indoor map, and I guess it's a training facility. So it's it might be like one of those, esports maps.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That are
Yes.
like really symmetrical and balanced.
Mm-hmm.
All right, the Bazaar. All right. The East African Protectorate's plan to rebuild the glassed urban core of Mombasa was ambitious and expensive, but Project Rebirth investment by the UEG and UNSC activity at the nearby Voi accession has revitalized some sections of the metropolis. So this looks like a definitely like a so this says East African. So I'm guessing I'm getting feelings of like Morocco or
Well, I mean, they had this in Halo 3 and Halo 3 ODST.
okay.
We went to Mombasa, so yeah.
Oh, Mombasa, yeah. Okay, so yeah, this looks cool. You know what? I didn't play much of ODST because
ODST is so good.
I know it is, but at the time,
You're not Master Chief.
well, no, didn't Reach come out shortly after?
Not that short.
Not that short, but it was like
I mean, it was Halo 3, then Halo 3 ODST.
Yeah.
Halo 3 ODST was shortly after Halo 3.
yeah,
And then Halo Reach was much later.
I was playing Halo 3 online the whole time.
Word.
And ODST came out. I played the story.
It's great.
It is great, but I don't remember too much, so I'm starting to wonder if I beat it. That might be the one I haven't beaten.
Return.
Yeah.
Master Chief Collection.
Dude, I got it on PC.
Is it on the Master Chief Collection? Is
No,
it on
well,
there?
I don't know if it's yet because they're
Yeah.
they're adding each one
Which
separately.
is so weird.
I know, but it's dude. Halo, the Master Chief Collection on PC is awesome.
Well, yeah, because it's the Combat Evolved version that was remastered in like the Xbox 360 days.
Dude,
Right?
me and Virik, we used to play this map, and I have it saved to my cloud profile, and I was trying to access it and get it on the PC version so we could play.
Yes.
But he was able to recreate it in like a day, and we logged in. He sent it to me. I downloaded it, hosted it, and we were playing the same map we played on the 360.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
That's very cool.
Yeah. All right. So, yeah, that's it for the Halo Infinite maps. They've also revealed pictures of armor and other stuff like that, but I'm not going to cover that. You can go out and find those. So next up, Metroid Dread. So here we have a article by Eurogamer, and they have some insight from Sakamoto on bringing Metroid Dread back from the dead.
Metroid Dead.
Yeah. So let's look at this. Where is it? Okay. When Sakamoto is asked what has changed to enable development on Metroid Dread now as opposed to back initially in 2005, his first answers are expected ones: graphical power, hardware capability, a follow-up to Metroid Fusion. So this plays just like Metroid Fusion, right?
For the most part, I mean, I don't think
they added new mechanics, but it
well,
plays.
well, it plays more like Metroid: Samus Returns,
Okay.
the most recent version, the updated version that came out on the 3DS from Mercury Steam. It's the same developer.
Okay. So Dread was originally planned for the Nintendo DS. Of course, things have changed a bit since then. But what also becomes clear is the role Madrid-based Mercury Steam have also had in giving 2D Metroid a future. After catching the industry's attention with its Castlevania Lords of Shadow series, Mercury Steam formed a successful partnership with the Nintendo to remake Metroid 2. The resulting project, 2017's Metroid Samus Returns for 3DS, just like you said, as well received. After that, it became a question of what to do next. Samus Return went really well, Sakamoto said, and meanwhile, there was this long-standing project which I've been wanting to make come true for a long time. Once I'd confirmed the excellent collaboration we have with Mercury Steam, I felt we'd finally found the ideal partner to make the long-standing project come true.
Yeah. So tonally, I think it's definitely more indicative of Metroid Fusion, but gameplay-wise, it's closely related to Mercury Steam's previous game, Metroid Samus Returns.
Okay.
Which is not a bad thing. Not a bad thing at all.
Did you have it?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Oh, yes. No, I have it, beat it. I bought the Game Boy Advance just for Fusion, and when Samus Returns was announced, like I pre-ordered that joint so quickly, and I did the same thing with Dread.
Okay. Yeah, you already pre-ordered it.
So the only thing is that the amiibo got away from me. So
it's already sold out?
It's already sold out. Yeah, and I need that amiibo.
Yeah, you're an amiibo collector.
Well, I'm a selective amiibo collector.
Okay.
I curate amiibo that I want that's connected to titles that I enjoy. So like I've got like practically all the Fire Emblem amiibo, all the Legend of Zelda amiibo, and I own all the Metroid amiibo.
Okay.
So that's anyways, Metroid Dread. It definitely reminds me of shoot. I'm forgetting. It was like this in Fusion. Did you play Fusion?
No.
In Fusion, there was an enemy that stalked you. I think it was called SRX. and like it was actually harrowing. I would play that game with a little Game Boy Advance light in the dark, backlighting everything, and I would actually be scared.
It was like Resident Evil 3 Nemesis.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess so. And you just did not want to mess with this enemy because
It was too
would
strong?
be, yeah, it was too strong. So the only way to counteract anything was literally to hide or flee. And it seems like they're replicating that kind of sensation with Metroid Dread. I mean, it's in the title.
Yeah, let's look at what they say here. Okay. 15 years ago, when I originally conceived of the game, the story itself wasn't clearly set, Sakamoto recalled. It was basically driven or kept alive by the concept. It's fairly recent we finalized the detailed story, so you can imagine what I had envisioned 15 years ago is not the same as what has been achieved now. It consisted of Samus facing a dreadful opponent, a dreadful experience, Sakamoto continued. When asked specifically about his original concept, at this time I hadn't developed in detail the storyline within the overall chronology and background of the series. On beginning work with Mercury Steam, we further developed in detail the story. The final product surpasses what I originally envisioned.
That's awesome. I mean, I love. We were talking about issues with art direction for a lot of the previous games that we talked about in this podcast, in this episode.
Yeah.
But here with Metroid Dread, it looks gorgeous. I love Samus's new suit.
Yeah.
The design is phenomenal, and just the gameplay looks tight.
Yeah.
It looks tight. It looks like they've sped it up.
Yeah.
If anything, just the way that she maneuvers through the world, as well as combat. Like there was this one enemy that she just like ran up to, smacked it. It died, and she just kept going.
Yeah.
I was
she
like, yes.
she has a like a charge move where she like brings out like an energy blade or something almost.
No, it's not. I actually don't. I don't think I saw that.
Okay.
In Metroid Samus Returns, she had a lot more combat-based moves where she would smack them with her arm blaster. I don't even know what it's called. Oh my lord. I'm forgetting, but please correct us in the comments. And that smack had like a visual flare attached to it, so it looks like this like wave, if you will.
That's probably what I was
I
saying.
think that's what you're seeing. Yeah.
Yeah. But apparently they added some new mechanics.
Yes, there's the Phantom Cloak mechanic, which allows you to hide in plain sight. So it's like a stealth move. And then they definitely upped the amount of combat moves that she has. One of them was, I was saying, where she actually went up to the creature and then smacked it, while in Metroid Samus Returns, it was actually retaliation. Like it was like... It was
a
like
counter.
You would counter. Thank you.
So I think they have a counter in this one.
Yes, it looks like it's taken from Samus Returns, which is fantastic.
Okay. So yeah, there you have it. This Metroid Dread. You already pre-ordered?
Yeah. Got the special edition.
Yeah. Oh, nice. Is it already sold out?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. So yeah, I'm gonna wait a little bit, see some more stuff. I haven't played too much of the Metroid series except for the original Nintendo game and Metroid Prime.
Okay.
On GameCube,
Which we're still waiting for Prime 4. They talked about, but you own the Super Nintendo Mini. A lot of people do.
Yeah.
Super Metroid.
Yes. Oh yeah, I played Super Metroid.
Play Super Metroid.
I have the original SNES version.
Nice.
So yeah. Yeah, we're definitely looking forward to this. I want to see more gameplay on it too.
So, and also, I just want to clarify for anyone that might be confused, it's called Metroid 5, Metroid Dread. It's continuing the original adventures of Samus, which was Metroid 1, Metroid 2, Samus Returns, which was remade for the 3DS, Super Metroid, and then Metroid Fusion. The Metroid Prime series of games are first-person action-adventure games, or adventure... Yeah. And those take place within the Metroid universe, but they're separate, kind of.
Okay. All right. Next up, Bethesda VP apologized for Starfield being an Xbox exclusive. So yeah, we saw the Starfield trailer from Xbox, and we know that it's looking like it's going to be this vast open world
It's Skyrim in space,
exploration.
bro.
Yes, Skyrim in space. but even bigger because you're going to be able to probably go to different planets and space stations.
And there's space dragons.
Yeah.
But the thing is that since you're in the vacuum of space, you can't use the fuss roll das type
Yeah, you can't talk. So yeah, so we know it's going to be this huge game.
Yes.
Right? This massive scale. But it's going to be exclusive to Xbox and PC. But we don't know if the PC version is only going to be on Game Pass or not, right? I don't think.
Oh, most likely it will.
Yeah, most likely it will.
There's no doubt in my mind.
They're probably not going to release it on Steam.
Yeah.
So yeah, here we got Pete Hines said he understands why PlayStation 5 owners might be unhappy or frustrated. So let's see what he says. Okay. You're not worrying about how does it work on this box versus how does it work on that box, Hines says. We're not making it on that box, so it just needs to run as well as possible on this one and a PC. Narrow focus always helps. It works both ways, Hines said. The same thing is true for Deathloop, Arcane's upcoming swinging 60s time loop shooter, which is an exclusive to PS5 and PC. When we decided to do partnerships with Sony on Deathloop, and that game became exclusive to that platform, that development got more streamlined because we said PS5 and PC, that's what we're focusing on. So, yeah, he's apologizing, I guess, for it, but he's also saying it makes it easier for their development. In that, but let me see what he says. Okay. At the same time, Hines acknowledges that while it might be a boon for game makers, it can suck for platform owners. I totally understand if you are unhappy or pissed or whatever. I get it. Those are all real feelings and frustrations, he said. How should you deal with that? I haven't the foggiest idea. I would never presume to say, here's how you can make it better and feel better. I don't know how to allay the fears and concerns of PlayStation 5 fans, other than to say I'm a PlayStation 5 player as well, and I've played games on that console, and there's games I'm going to continue to play on it. But if you want to play Starfield, it's PC and Xbox. Sorry. All I can say is I apologize. So Starfield is set to come out November 11th, 2022 on PC and Xbox Series XS. It will be available on Xbox Game Pass on launch day. So yeah, it doesn't say if it's going to be only on Game Pass on PC. They might just release it in the Microsoft Store on PC, which means you don't need Game Pass to play it. So I hope that's the case. I definitely feel like that should be the case. I don't think they should restrict it to Game Pass, especially since they're moving games in and out of it constantly. So yeah, that being said, what's your take on what he said?
I mean, this is just a natural progression of what's occurred by Microsoft purchasing Bethesda.
Yeah.
Or ZeniMax, pardon.
Yeah.
So I don't think he has anything to really apologize for because it's just it is what it is.
It's the industry.
Nice.
It's nice. Yeah.
It's nice that he's saying sorry, but as you know, a player of any kind of system, you kind of understand. There's like PlayStation 5 owners probably aren't kicking themselves in the foot that the Legend of Breath of the Wild 2 isn't coming to PlayStation 5.
Yeah, I know. When I saw that trailer, I wasn't like, damn it.
Yeah, exactly.
I can't play this on PS5.
Yeah, exactly. Or vice versa. You
Yeah.
know? Like yes, there are games that you want to play, but exclusives are what sells these services like Game Pass or consoles.
Yeah.
So this is just a natural progression of things. Deathloop looks awesome. I'm actually excited for Deathloop, and that's really cool that they're honoring that exclusivity. But I would like to state that exclusives are fungible. And the reason why I bring that up, most recently, I can say Xbox One, before Series, Xbox One had an exclusive, Sunset Overdrive. That game's coming to PlayStation 5.
Okay.
So
It's a racing game, right?
No, No, Sunset Overdrive.
Yeah. What is
It's
that?
shoot, it's a third person like action adventure game. Believe, oh snap, I'm forgetting the developer. I want to say Insomniac, but I think it's the same people that did Infamous.
Oh, okay. I never heard of it then.
Sunset
Well, I
Overdrive?
don't have an
No,
X-
no, no. As soon as he sees it, he'll be like,
I
"Oh
didn't have
yes,
an
I
Xbox
recall.
One.
I recall." Um, but even then, and Sony exclusives, Horizon Zero Dawn, Death Stranding, they've come to the PC.
Yeah.
You know, you only assumed that they would only be available on that console and you could only play it on there. But
Yes.
now, and I'd argue that better versions are available somewhere else.
Yeah. Yeah. The PC version of Death Stranding is far superior to the PS4 version, although they did announce a PS5 version.
Yes, exactly.
So, yeah. Yeah.
And the director's cut, I'm actually
Yeah.
pretty excited for that. So that being said, I think that Starfield will come to the PlayStation 5? Not really. Not really. But I just say don't lose hope.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't lose hope. Look, we saw when Bethesda first started out, all their games were on PC.
Yep.
All of them. It took a while before they even went to console.
Morrowind?
Yeah.
On the Xbox?
Yeah. Even Oblivion, you know?
Oblivion's
it took a
the
while.
reason why I bought an Xbox 360.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't afford a PC that could run Oblivion.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to go ahead and go through the rigmarole of get the monitor, get the graphics card and everything. As like this is just an easier solution.
Yeah. So like in 5 years or whatever, when Starfield has lost steam and it's not, that doesn't have a huge player base.
That director's cut comes out on
PlayStation 5. Yeah. So we don't know for sure if it's locked in stone, but for now, the game's going to be on Xbox and PC.
And even then, just in recent history, Microsoft exclusives or Microsoft-owned properties have been coming to other consoles. A good example is Minecraft.
Yeah, yeah. Because they know at the end of the day...
If there's money.
Yes. Yeah. So there you have it. All right. And our final story. Elden Ring will be easier, Dev says, but no difficulty options. So let's see what he says here. Okay. Since Elden Ring is less linear than previous games, bosses, a historically important part of the Souls-like experience, can be avoided in favor of exploring a new area. From Software hopes this leads to fewer instances of players getting stuck on a boss battle and not being able to advance the story. The game can even be completed without defeating some bosses, Miyazaki said, a side effect of the freedom of choice for which the developers are striving. Multiplayer is also a factor, and while details are scarce, Miyazaki mentioned that the online system makes it easier to call in backup this time around, and if all else fails, Elden Ring players can still leave messages scattered around the world, providing tips and words of encouragement, or simply commiserating at tough points of the game. The game structure is going to be more free, more open, and less gridlocks like traditional Soul games have. So that being said, it's going to be easier in that respect, but I fully assume the boss battles to be just as hard as any Dark Souls game. And also, I commend them for not caving to the pressure to add a difficulty mode. Because they don't want to.
It seems like a vocal minority.
Yeah, yeah.
No offense.
Yeah.
but it just is what it is.
Yeah, I don't know anyone who wants that.
It's like Returnal. Like I haven't heard anything about them changing the save states just yet, but I was able to beat the game. I loved it.
Yeah.
It's currently my game of the year. That's how much I love it. but that is the type of game that it is.
Yeah.
And you get better by continuing to play
Yeah.
and anticipating what will happen and
Yes.
then reacting accordingly. That's how you get better.
Yeah.
So in that regard, I just don't see why they need difficulty options if that's the kind of game they want to create.
Yeah. And I want to. Fextra Life has a great video on this.
I saw it yesterday. Yeah.
Yeah. So I want to point out something he said. I don't remember off the top of my head, but Miyazaki and his team have 5 key criteria for the difficulty of their games. One of the criteria is that the game cannot punish a player simply based on them having slower reactions or physical attributes, right? So that means that
It's just not the case for shmups.
yeah, it's not the case
Or
for
Returnal.
or Returnal. But the case for Dark Souls games and Demon Souls and Bloodborne and Sekiro in this game, you don't. When people say get good, like Fextra Life says, it doesn't mean get more reflexes. It doesn't mean.
I would argue that I'm hearing you, but at
Yeah.
the same time, I would interject here that Sekiro is not like the others.
Yeah, okay,
And
let's-
Sekiro would use.
Yeah, let's pull
reflexes.
Sekiro out.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
Sekiro is vicious.
That game. I hated that game, but I beat it, and that game made me hate life for like a while. All right, so that being said, let's take out Sekiro.
Yeah.
Let's put the Dark Souls games,
Yeah.
Bloodborne, Demon Souls, and Elden Ring. All right. The game is designed so that you learn from your past mistakes. You know that when you enter this corridor, there's a guy over here and a guy over here, and they're waiting to ambush you.
Not so much but you learn.
You learn. So you can act accordingly. That's how the game is designed to be. It's designed to win through trial and error. It's not saying, oh, well, I'm sorry, you're just not fast enough or you're not quick enough.
Which I think is where a lot of the backlash comes from, because that mentality of gameplay, or that version of gameplay,
Yeah.
is very old school.
Yes.
Now people want to hold your hand. They don't want death to be a factor in the game.
Yeah.
And they just want you to keep moving. You know, just do your thing and enjoy the game. Which is
It's fine for some games.
It's just a different version of game development and game design.
Yeah.
That's it. And I don't think it's that bad to be like, okay, you know what, this game just isn't my cup of tea.
Yeah.
And then move on with your life instead
Yeah.
of, trying to be like, I need this game to be made for me.
Yes. Yeah. Don't, just because you don't like the way a game plays, don't like act like the developer has to change the game for you.
Mm-hmm.
That's ridiculous. And when people say get good, don't take it as them insulting your physical abilities.
Yeah. Just keep picking away at it.
Yeah. What they're saying is keep learning.
Yeah.
Keep learning. Like, for example, Dark Souls games, one thing that people don't mention is that even players who can beat those games, they have to play the same level 10, 20 times sometimes, because there's that one enemy they just can't beat. And then once they figure it out, it's easy. You know what I mean? And it's like, that's not coming from my mental reflexes. That's not coming from my hand-eye coordination. It's coming from experience. And we can all gain experience. And that's what they try to develop these games for. Experiences. It rewards experiences, you know?
And thinking how to approach any given situation
Yeah.
differently. A good example that I like to say is actually funny enough.
Yeah.
Sekiro.
Yeah.
I hated
Lady Butterfly.
Lady Butterfly. Yes.
There's a lot of things to
Lady
hate in
Butterfly.
that game.
Lady Butterfly, but also I hated the Great Ape.
See, and that's
The
funny.
Great Ape.
That's funny because I beat him easily.
So I hated the Great
Yeah,
Ape.
I
And the
actually
thing is-
had a good
the
time
thi-
with
the,
him.
The thing is that once I got to the point, and this isn't a spoiler, but it is a spoiler. But I mean, whatever.
Yeah,
Uh,
the game's old
there's
now.
there,
Come
there,
on.
there, there's a second half to the fight. After you beat the Great Ape actually reanimates, resurrects, and it's like, no, you're not done yet.
Yeah.
And it's horrific and awful in equal measure.
Yeah,
And the thing is the way to overcome and how it's been deconstructed or simplified into the realm of get good
yeah,
is literally, even though it broke me and I went ahead and looked at YouTube and was trying to find strategies on how to fight this thing.
yeah,
Just because you could see the strategy and you could see a person, conquering this enemy that has been brutalizing you, it still takes your own experience to understand the feel of when to move or react to when the enemy gives a tell.
Yes.
And you're like, okay, I need to move accordingly.
yes.
So that's how you get good. It's literally just doing this thing over and over again until you overcome the challenges that
Yeah.
lie in wait.
It's like playing an instrument in a way. So
Yeah. Games are music, bro.
yeah,
And there's music games.
actually, music is way harder than games. Like playing the guitar is like 100 times harder
It's
than
super
playing
hard.
Dark
Super
Souls.
hard. But the getting good is growing those
Yes.
calluses, getting that muscle memory
Yes.
to know where to.
Yeah. Yeah. So like, yes, that's what it is. If you don't tell a guitar manufacturer to make a guitar with different levels of
That's where Guitar Hero comes from.
easiness. Yeah, yeah, that's where Guitar Hero. So look, let's just say also another thing he brought up was the way that they're designing this game. Like Miyazaki just said, you can beat it in different ways.
Yes.
If you're having a hard time, skip it, go somewhere else, explore, get stronger, then come back. And that's what this game is going to be like. So I'm just excited for Elden Ring, man.
I'm super excited. Honestly, this E3, as lackluster as it may be, it really started off with a banger.
Yeah.
I didn't really care for the Game Fest, the Summer of Games conference, but
Yeah.
Elden Ring was huge.
It's huge.
And that's how kind of like E3 for me started.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, nothing else will live up to this.
Yeah, yeah,
And in many ways, nothing did.
Yes.
Except for, in my opinion, Metroid Dread.
yeah.
But no, Elden Ring is one of my most anticipated games. I'm super excited. We're both huge fans of the Soul series,
Yep.
so I cannot wait.
I beat them all.
But the thing that I think is a little bit like I'm intrigued to find out how it works is the fact that the story is so flexible that you can go
Yes.
ahead and pick and choose whomever you want to fight,
Yeah.
but it still fits.
Yes.
It's like I wonder how that works.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
Especially with Jar Jar Martin
Yeah.
behind the lore.
And apparently he finished the story years ago.
Oh wow, he finished something.
Yeah, yeah. He finished the story for
Before Game
Elden
of
Ring
Thrones.
2 years ago.
That's how much he cares about this game.
yeah. Well, I think it's just it's like nothing for him to write a game story. He's probably just like, it's on a cocktail napkin. He's like, there, he hands it
Here
to
you go,
Miyazaki.
Yeah, exactly. Miyazaki's like, tight.
As long as it's good. So, yeah, that's it for the show this week. I'm glad we could do it in person.
Yeah,
it's
it's nice.
always better.
Yeah.
And hopefully next week we'll be able to continue this up. So thanks everyone for watching. Please like and subscribe. Leave comments. Let us know because
What did we get wrong?
Yeah.
What did we get right?
yeah,
Do you agree? Do you disagree?
I love seeing the discussion in the comments because some people are like, "You're stupid. You don't know what you're talking about," and other people are like, "Man, I completely understand what you're saying." So it's like,
Even though you're stupid,
Yeah.
you don't know what you're talking about.
yeah. So yeah, that's it for this week. Thanks everyone for watching, and we'll see you all next time.
Keep on gaming. Take care.
Hey everyone, thanks for listening to this episode of Games I Speak. If you liked the episode, please like and subscribe, and we'll see you all next time.